London was swallowed in fog that night, a dense, grey blanket that muted the sounds of the city. Streets glistened with the remnants of a late drizzle, reflecting the pale glow of street lamps. Among the shadows, a young girl vanished without a trace, her last footsteps echoing softly against the cobblestones. No one saw her leave, no one saw her struggle, yet something sinister had brushed past the ordinary rhythm of London life. Her routine had been simple, a short walk from her apartment to the corner shop, then home before dark. But that night, something changed. The usual laughter and chatter of pedestrians were replaced by an eerie silence. A figure lingered in the mist, watching from a distance, almost blending with the fog. CCTV cameras captured fleeting glimpses, a shadow crossing the street, a hand brushing against hers, but the images were grainy, unclear, and hauntingly ambiguous. The police arrived quickly after her disappearance was reported. Officers moved through the fog with urgency, their breath visible in the cold night air. They interviewed neighbors, store owners, anyone who might have noticed something unusual. Everyone's accounts were fragmented, contradictory, tinged with fear and uncertainty. Some claimed to have seen her walking alone, others mentioned a stranger trailing her steps. The tension was palpable. London felt larger, darker, and infinitely more dangerous. As investigators pieced together the night's events, small clues emerged. A dropped glove by the canal, footprints partially washed away by drizzle, a faint, lingering scent of perfume that didn't belong to her. Each detail seemed insignificant on its own, but together they painted a picture of something deliberate, something predatory. The city's fog had swallowed her, but the shadows left traces. Interviews with friends and family revealed the depth of the girl's life, her ambitions, her routines, and her relationships. Her absence carved a void in every narrative, a question mark hovering in every conversation. Emotional testimonies filled the room, tears, broken voices, pauses thick with grief. The pain was raw, visceral, and unmistakable. As detectives listened, they realized this was not just a missing person case. This was a prelude to something darker. Night after night, the search continued. Police patrolled the streets, drones scanned the canals, and forensic teams combed every corner of the area. The fog became a silent accomplice, hiding evidence, concealing the city's secrets, and amplifying the sense of dread. Each lead brought hope and disappointment in equal measure. Every interview, every fragment of evidence, carried the weight of anxiety and fear. By the end of the first day, the case had grown in complexity. Patterns emerged, routes she might have taken, places she could have stopped, faces she may have encountered. But certainty remained elusive. Every lead hinted at danger, every clue whispered a possible horror. London, so familiar and alive by day, became an almost alien landscape at night, filled with unseen threats and hidden truths. The fog persisted, thickening with the hours, wrapping around every street, every corner, every alley. And in that fog, the mystery of the missing girl deepened, leaving a haunting question suspended in the minds of all who searched for her. Who had taken her, and why? The answers lay hidden, just beyond the reach of the city lights, in the dark folds of London itself. The days that followed brought no relief, only more questions. Each lead seemed to dissolve into the dense London fog, leaving the police grasping at shadows. Forensic teams worked tirelessly, examining fingerprints, fibers, and the faint traces of her presence that the city had not yet claimed entirely. The canal where her glove had been found revealed nothing more, and the streets, slick with rain and fog, offered only fleeting hints of movement. Yet every small clue suggested she had not wandered off by choice. Someone had been watching, planning, waiting. Suspects emerged from the periphery of her life, faces that had once seemed ordinary now tinged with suspicion. A man seen loitering near her route, a neighbor whose stories contradicted themselves, a stranger who appeared in multiple CCTV frames but vanished before anyone could confront him. Each interview was a delicate dance, peeling back layers of truth from fear, confusion, or perhaps intentional deception. The investigators felt the weight of urgency pressing against them, a pressing need to act before the trail went cold. The city itself seemed complicit in the unfolding nightmare. Narrow alleyways, abandoned warehouses, and fog-laden streets became the backdrop for imagined horrors. Police patrolled tirelessly, their flashlights cutting through the grey mist, but with every step, it seemed the darkness shifted, concealing more than it revealed. A sense of paranoia crept over the city, shadows moved differently, whispers seemed closer, and every passerby was a potential witness or perpetrator. Then came the first tangible breakthrough, her backpack, hidden in a derelict building on the edge of the city. Inside were personal belongings, disheveled and scattered, but most importantly, traces of DNA that did not belong to her. It was the first undeniable proof of foul play, confirming what the police had feared. With it, the investigation intensified. Detectives cross-referenced records, interrogated new suspects, and reconstructed timelines, each moment revealing new layers of complexity and danger. Families, friends, and the public were gripped by anxiety. Emotions ran high during televised interviews and public appeals. People wanted answers, but the answers seemed to slip further away with each passing hour. Every revelation came with a cost, the realization that someone, somewhere, had intentionally disrupted a young life and hidden the truth within London's darkened streets. Fear spread through the city like wildfire. Every parent, every sibling, every friend felt the invisible weight of uncertainty pressing on their own lives. The fog that had swallowed her continued to thicken, a silent witness to the unfolding drama. Each day brought a mixture of hope and despair, a cycle that left investigators physically and emotionally drained. Night patrols discovered more evidence, items out of place, footprints leading nowhere, doors that had been forced open. Each fragment of the puzzle hinted at the meticulous and calculating mind behind the crime. Somewhere in the shadows, the perpetrator watched, waited, and perhaps even relished the uncertainty and terror that had gripped the city. As Part 2 of the investigation closed, the narrative had shifted from a missing girl to a chilling possibility of murder. The evidence painted a story of intent, premeditation, and concealed motives. London itself became a character in the unfolding horror. Its foggy streets, dark alleys, and hidden corners bore silent witness to the creeping dread. With each passing hour, the urgency intensified, setting the stage for the confrontation and revelation that would soon come. The fog hung heavier than ever, wrapping London in a suffocating shroud. Every street, every alley seemed to pulse with a hidden menace. Detectives had followed countless leads, each one leading closer to the truth, yet the city's shadows resisted revelation. Then, finally, a breakthrough emerged. Surveillance footage captured a fleeting glimpse of the suspect entering an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city, carrying a heavy, concealed load. The tension was immediate, the stakes unbearably high. Police mobilized swiftly, their vehicles cutting through the fog with sirens muted to preserve the element of surprise. Officers moved silently, hearts pounding, adrenaline sharpening every sense. Inside the warehouse, the atmosphere was oppressive, filled with the scent of damp concrete and dust. Every creak, every rustle heightened the terror of discovery. And there, partially hidden beneath a tarpaulin, lay evidence that confirmed the darkest fears: the girl had not survived. The realization struck the investigators with physical force, grief mingling with anger and determination. The suspect was cornered, a man whose calm exterior had masked a calculated and cold-blooded plan. His interrogation revealed fragments of motive, a twisted narrative of obsession and control. Emotions ran high in the room, officers struggled to contain outrage, while grief-stricken family members listened silently, their faces frozen in disbelief and sorrow. Each word, each pause, carried the weight of unspeakable tragedy. London's fog outside seemed to mirror the murkiness of human intent inside, blurring lines between innocence and malevolence. Reconstructing the sequence of events, investigators revealed the chilling details: how she had been lured, the calculated timing, the careful avoidance of witnesses. The city's routine streets, the familiar paths she had taken every day, had been transformed into a silent theater of danger, exploited by someone she had never suspected. Forensic evidence and eyewitness accounts came together, forming a coherent narrative of horror that had unfolded in the quiet hours of London's foggy nights. Emotional testimonies from friends and family punctuated the resolution. Tears were shed, voices trembled, and the sheer weight of grief was palpable. Yet amidst the sorrow, there was relief: justice had finally been served. The killer was apprehended, and the legal machinery began its course, offering the possibility of closure, if not healing. The story, once shrouded in mystery and fear, was now fully revealed, every hidden corner illuminated by the truth. London slowly began to reclaim its rhythm. The fog lifted, and with it, a sense of unease faded, though the memory of what had occurred lingered. Streets that had been ordinary now held the weight of experience, of a young life stolen and a city forced to confront its vulnerability. The investigation concluded, but the emotional resonance persisted, a reminder of the fragility of life, the darkness that can lurk behind familiar faces, and the resilience of those who refuse to let evil remain hidden. In the end, the missing girl's story was told fully, with sorrow and with respect. Her life, brief yet meaningful, became a testament to the vigilance and determination of those who seek justice. London had endured, and through grief and perseverance, clarity had emerged from the fog. The city continued, aware now of both its beauty and its danger, carrying the story forward as a silent witness to the events that had unfolded in its shadowed streets.